ARK Survival Evolved was one of the most ambitious survival game ever made. With dinosaurs, base building, and PvP, it had it all. But over time, things changed. Bad decisions, corporate greed, and mismanagement turned this once beloved game into a frustrating mess. And the biggest culprit? Snail Games USA. Today we are breaking down how Snail Games took over ARK, milked the franchise, and left the community in chaos. So before anything, let's rewind back all the way to the start. ARK Survival Evolved launched in early access in 2015. Developed by Studio Wildcard, it was an ambitious game with taming dinosaurs, building your tribe, and surviving against both players and the environment. The game soon exploded in popularity despite being buggy as hell. Even with its issues, ARK was ahead and gave rise to many creators like Slipgator, Ballistic Squid, Zuljun, Syntac, to name a few. But behind the scenes, a major player was pulling the strings. Snail Games USA, a subsidiary of the Chinese gaming company, Snail Games, had set its eye on its prey. Now, Snail Games only acquired a controlling stake in Studio Wildcard during 2016, meaning they had a major say in ARK's development. And what do greedy corporate executives love? Monetization. Suddenly, the focus was no longer on fixing the bugs or improving the gameplay. It was all about pumping as much DLCs as they could. And boy oh boy did they deliver. Suddenly, DLCs were rolling out like prehistoric loot crates. I mean, they probably said to themselves, what if we charge for DLCs before finishing the base game? Genius. And that's right, they literally made DLCs while the game was still in early access. So, in 2016, we had Scorched Earth, in 2017, Aberration, in 2018, Extinction, in 2020, Genesis Part 1, and in 2021, Genesis Part 2. Each expansion release was rushed, full of bugs, and often broke the base game. But Snail Games did not care. They wanted more DLC sales even if the core game was still a technical disaster. Because in the end, the community did not matter as long as their banks were being filled. For years, the T-Tribe had built a reputation as one of the most notorious groups in ARK's official servers, accused of exploiting game mechanics, crashing servers, and getting rival tribes forcefully banned, followed them everywhere. Yet, despite multiple bans, they always returned. The reason? A powerful ally in Snail Games, the publisher of ARK. In 2018, a cluster of servers known as Conquest was created, a place where T-Tribe and Snail Games could operate unchecked. While these servers were intended to provide a new PvP experience, they quickly became a battleground for corruption. Fast forward to 2023, when a group called the Island Boys, nearly 200 strong, decided to challenge T's dominance, and on May 8th, the battle began. The Island Boys first tested the water, but every time T began to lose, something suspicious happened. The server mysteriously crashed 11 times to be exact. After which, the Island Boys weren't having it and went on an all-out assault, but then came the bans.
Our members just got banned for using a Fabi against him. Yeah, that's the thing. Just using a Fabi against T gets you banned.
We did it in a legit way. We even forbid our players from bringing any fabricated snipers. If T sees you using a Fabi, they will ban you almost instantly. We were fighting them on their terms and we were winning. And that is when they decided that fair enough. All 93 of us were banned from Conquest servers forever, except the guy that took the screenshot, obviously.
One by one, every member of the Island Boys were permanently removed from the Conquest servers. No appeals, no warnings, just silence. 93 players that day were wiped out, not by the enemy fire, but by the unseen hand of corruption by Snail Games, because they were permanently banned from the Conquest servers, as they could access every other official servers which were wildcard hosted. The T-Tribe incident was more than just a battle. It was a wake-up call, and it exposed the deep-seated corruption and the lengths some would go to maintain power. While Studio Wildcard enforced every other server, it was Snail Games that controlled the Conquest. In 2020, Studio Wildcard shocked everyone by announcing ARK 2, starring Vin Diesel. Yes, that Vin Diesel. The problem, ARK 1 was still a broken mess, and instead of fixing it, Snail Games decided to hype up a sequel that nobody asked for, and then they went silent. No gameplay, no updates, just Vin Diesel staring at us like he knows something we don't. Also, another thing to note, in 2017, Shihai, the founder of Snail Games, launched an electric car company called Indie EV, which faced significant challenges and ultimately ended in a massive failure. Which brings us to then came the biggest slap on our faces, where instead of fixing ARK Survival Evolved, Snail Games and Studio Wildcard announced ARK Survival Ascended, a paid remaster, which was originally promised that it would be free for current ARK players. But then Snail Games did a classic corporate move and said, "Oh, just kidding. That'll be $60, please." As now the picture is getting clearer who is more greedier in the partnership, and also the same repeat is currently going on with ARK Survival Ascended, with the same deja vu feeling, which reminds me of CJ. What is the famous line again? As we have been getting DLCs, new DLCs with a new story, and guess what? Another premium price. A lot of microtransactions ranging from $5 all the way to $15 for a skin pack. Yeah. And if you thought things couldn't get worse, in 2025, Snail Games released a trailer of ARK Aquatica, a new DLC. The problem? Well, it just had a few seconds of actual gameplay and the rest was just AI slop generated, which even a 10-year-old would have done better with prompts. Like seriously, no jokes here. Obviously the community wasn't having it, and eventually Studio Wildcard distanced themselves as well from the project, saying that's not us, that they are gonna stay away from this and they're basically gonna just work on Survival Ascended and ARK 2. And to make matters worse, the server support, which was completely stopped with thousands of hours in breeding, building, just destroyed like nothing. Snail Games just raised their hand up and slapped the cheeks out of the community to make a limited time official server for ARK. Yes, a limited time server. So have fun building, as after they're done, they're gonna get to say bye-bye again. But then again, this could also be another matter to make more DLCs for Evolved and milk it till it's bone dry. And now comes to the current situation, where there seems to be friction going on between both parties, Snail Games and Wildcard. Now we don't know what may have happened, but our best option is if the IP is actually bought by a big company, maybe Microsoft. Until then, I'm not sure if ARK 2 will ever be a thing, if Survival Ascended will ever be fixed. if the greed will ever stop, if the corruption will ever end. Conclusion: the fall of ARK. So where does that leave us? Snail Games took ARK, let it dry, and left the community frustrated. Instead of fixing the game, they prioritized Rust DLCs, special treatment for certain players, T-Tribe, and recreated ARK Survival Ascended with cash grabs like fantastic tames, Power Rangers skins, animated skins, etc. And now with ARK 2 still a mystery and AI generated nonsense being pushed, the future really looks bleak. Will ARK ever recover, or is this just another victim of corporate greed? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss future uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Also, this is going to be the last video on Snail Games. I'm done talking about them. Maybe if something really stupid and major happens, I'll cover it. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew the basic story of what Snail Games had done to ARK, because there are a lot of comments giving justifications. And I just wanted to make the timeline specific. It's not the entire timeline. There's more shitty stuff they've done. Like right now, even ARK creators who are back in the game for so long are taking a break. Some have left ARK and moved on. It's a crazy situation, and it's something really serious. But yeah, that's about it.